We continue with the hustle, the bustle, the fun, the excitement of the holiday season. And we're going to tell you a lot of things about events related to the holiday season on this morning's edition of Our Town, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. My name is Darren Swinson. Our Town, as always, as we mentioned, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. One non-holiday related season, but something important to talk about coming up this Sunday is the deadline to sign up on the Health Insurance Exchange for 2025. We'll talk with Brian Huinker with Group Benefit Partners in Decorah. Coming up Saturday night, it's the annual Decorah Chorale Home for Christmas concert to benefit local charities. We'll talk with Jason Rausch and Chami DeLong from the Decorah Chorale. Special event coming up Saturday morning at the Minnesota State Veterans Cemetery. It's the annual Wreath laying ceremony for those that have served our country and are laid to rest at that location. Our friend Rob Gross from the Minnesota State Veterans Cemetery will discuss that with us. Coming up Friday night, everybody loves a parade, even in the month of December. We'll talk about the parade. We'll talk about other community events coming up this weekend with Jessica Rilling from the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. But first things first, Santa on the Farm will be taking place Friday night at the Iowa Dairy Center in Kilmer. Dave Lawstuen will join us to tell us all about it. He will get us going. As the hustle and the bustle and the fun and the excitement of the holiday season continues, we hope you get a little bit more into the spirit. I know you're probably all into the spirit already. Hopefully, a little bit more by listening to this morning's edition of Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Coming up Friday night, it is the Santa on the Farm event at the Iowa Dairy Center just south of Kilmer. And with us from the Iowa Dairy Center is Dave Lawstuen. And Dave, how many years have you done this event?
Gosh, Darren, our coordinator Ryan got it started. I believe this is year 4 or year 5, and it's a great family event. There's no charge. It runs from 5 to 7, and we're looking forward to a great turnout.
Tell us what will go on between 5 and 7 for those that attend. What will they be able to do? What will they be able to see?
So it's a drive-through event, and consequently, we've got volunteers that will coordinate the traffic flow. So as you enter the Dairy Center parking lot, you'll be directed to go to the west end of our freestall barn. And at the west end of our freestall barn, you'll be met by several of Iowa's dairy princesses. And there will be goodie bags for the kids, milk, cookies, several fun toys. And this year, one of our board of directors actually has some homegrown honey. So it's going to be a nice addition. So you'll drive from the west end to the east end, and as you're driving through, you'll see our dairy herd. We've got a 200 head registered Holstein herd on campus for both for teaching and for promotion of agriculture of the dairy industry. So it's kind of fun to see you'll see the cows right there and right where they live. The sand bedded free stalls, their TMR. We've recently gone to 100% robotics. And so the third robotic milking system is actually very close to the feed alley that you'll be driving through. And I think the families will enjoy how anxious the cows are to get into the robot. And of course, just like the kids get their cookies, our cows are after that treat, that soybean meal, molasses, wheat-based pellet. And I think the families will enjoy seeing that. And then finally, the main event is they'll hit the east end of the freestall barn and they'll be greeted by Santa. And Santa will be here. He's anxious to meet the families, meet the parents, the grandparents, but especially the kids that are going to attend. And so it's a really nice event. It sounds like the weather's going to cooperate nicely with us by Friday evening. And so let's hope we get a great turnout.
The fact that Santa, a busy guy this time of year, takes time to come to the Iowa Dairy Center this Friday, that says a lot about what you're doing, right?
I think it does, and I think he enjoys the reindeer. Don't come with him because we've got the cattle instead. So you won't see the reindeer, but you'll see lots of happy, healthy, comfortable Holstein cows, and Santa's thrilled that he gets to participate in this event. And he knows the type of children we have in Northeast Iowa. and he's especially anxious for Friday night.
And you mentioned this event is free to the public, but for those wishing to make donations to the Northeast Iowa Dairy Foundation or the Iowa Dairy Center, they're welcome to do so, I'd imagine, right?
Yes, donations are welcome and certainly help support the event. Dairy Farmers of America are donating all the milk, so we appreciate their sponsorship. The Midwest Dairy Association and Iowa Dairy Association are providing a number of fun events, or excuse me, for kids to participate in and to take home and work with mom and dad and maybe solve some puzzles and learning a little bit more about the dairy industry.
Of course, you got this fun event, Santa on the Farm, coming up on Friday night. What else right now is going on with the Northeast Iowa Dairy and Agriculture Foundation and the Iowa Dairy Center?
Well, this is like it's a busy time of year for Santa. It's a busy time here on campus. Our students, we have our agriculture students are winding down. This is their last week of classes, and they are anxiously awaiting being able to get that month break, enjoy a little time off over the holidays. And so it's a very busy time here. They're taking final exams and doing final projects here on campus. The Dairy Center is always open for visitors. The main building is open from 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. Self-guided tours are available. And if you'd like a group tour, though, we can certainly schedule those by appointment. The robot viewing area will be open on Friday evening as well. And if you haven't been there and if you've got time to stop and get out of your car and want to walk in and actually see the robots from the other side, that room is open 24/7, 365 days a year. So if you got family coming home for the holidays, or if you're looking for something to do on a weekend, stop on out. Like I said, the viewing area is open, and it's really interesting to watch the automated robotic milking systems.
Anything we're missing, Dave? Anything else you want to pass on to the public about Friday's event or the Iowa Dairy Center in general?
No, I just we appreciate the sport of agriculture. Santa obviously is the star on Friday night, but boy, those cows in their comfortable environments are a close second. I really believe mom, dad, grandpa and grandma, aunt and uncle, and the kids are going to enjoy.
All right, Dave. All right, Dave, we appreciate you taking a few moments to tell us about Santa on the Farm coming up tomorrow night at the Iowa Dairy Center from 5 until 7. Thanks for the time. Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you as well, Darren. Thank you. Have a great day.
Dave Lawstuen with the Iowa Dairy Center, Santa on the Farm tomorrow night from 5 until 7 p.m. Back with us once again is Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Jessica Rilling. A lot of things going on this holiday season in the Decorah area. And coming up Friday night, whether the weather's beautiful or the weather's a little shaky, everybody loves a parade, and the lighted holiday parade coming up Friday night. Jessica, tell us all about that.
Yeah, this is the 33rd annual Water Street Lighted Parade. And I think folks will be ready. We're in the Midwest, Darren, so get out your insulated coveralls and your little, heat packs in your pockets and join us for a beautiful parade in downtown Decorah. We have about 40 floats registered, and our theme this year is Vintage Christmas. So I think that will be a lot of fun that the businesses are having with the floats and however they're interpreting that this year. We have a station wagon registered, and I've heard things about Charlie Brown. So I think people are picking their favorites. We do have Santa leading the parade in Dotson Rod's carriage, which will be a wonderful start. And families can expect, fun handouts and I suppose probably some candy.
Always a good time to have some of that. You talk about all the things you need to do outdoor activities in the Midwest. Don't forget your thermo that you can fill with your favorite hot beverage. And that thermo, everyone has one. It keeps it warm for like 7 to 10 days. So you should be prepared Friday night, right?
Absolutely. You don't have to wait that long for the parade. It's
Okay.
it's a pretty sharp 6 o'clock start. And we're down. It's on Water Street. We start down by Oneota Valley Family Eye Care, and travel Water Street down past Vesterheim. Yeah, I think with some warm clothes, perhaps even stopping into a place before to get a hot drink, might help it feel a little bit more cheery, and help you stand outside for 30 minutes in the winter weather.
And when that 6 o'clock whistle blows, the parade is underway. A lot of other events coming up this weekend in Decorah. One of them tomorrow night out at Sunflower.
Yeah, so the same night as the parade, are you talking about the photos with Santa? And I think they're doing a hot cocoa bar as well. We know a lot of people haven't maybe gotten to see the space out there yet, either the childcare side or the Discovery Center side. So it was really nice to see them doing an event that welcomed people, the public, in to see the space, but then of course get a photo with Santa Claus and have some treats.
Killing two birds with one stone. That's what I call that. And then Saturday, a lot of things going on. It starts over at the landing Saturday morning.
Yeah, Santa's really busy in Decorah this weekend, and he kicks off the morning breakfast with Santa is at the landing market. I think they're doing Santa pancakes. Nick Chill Photography is taking photographs, or you can take your own photograph of kids with Santa. That's a great start to the day, and I have to say their pancakes are quite good. So something for everyone. Yeah.
And how cool is Decorah that Santa hangs out with us over a 2-day period, knowing the fact that he's got a lot of things going on, but he chooses to be here this Friday and this Saturday. How cool is that?
It's pretty cool. I think that we have a lot of special places, and he has fun, and we're happy to host him for so long.
And then Saturday afternoon over at the Wenatchee County Fairgrounds at the community building, you can help send some eighth graders to Washington, D.C. This summer.
Absolutely. I think that there's every kind of shopping and lots of chances for Santa. So yeah, warm clothes, and go ahead and plan in those places to stop in and grab a bite or get a warm drink.
And then more stuff at the landing Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that was fun to see. Kind of a special event. I think Pete Espinosa played a hand in coordinating a Santa event for folks over 75, which was really great. So there really is something for everyone at every age. Time with Santa, and time in Decorah downtown shopping.
And of course, there's a lot of things going on this weekend. Then a week from Saturday, a special event out at TG.
Yeah, I think again, Santa is busy here, and perhaps likes some of the brews up at Toppling Goliath. We could speculate that he's a stout man, but yeah, good to see him up there, and a beautiful space to again, fun for the whole family is a great way to phrase that one too, up at Toppling Goliath. That'll be good.
And of course, other things going on. I believe Countdown to Christmas still a big thing going on right now. What else from a chamber perspective do folks need to know about?
Yeah, well, I would just again, we often talk about being thoughtful in planning your shopping locally because of the hours, and making sure that that's just part of your plan for the holidays. It's easy to quickly order things online, which is maybe a good reminder that a lot of the downtown stores have online shopping too. But I would say, no matter what time you're shopping, whether it's, with a couple weeks notice or at the very last minute, checking in with all your favorite spots. They usually have extended hours this time of year, and a lot of the stores host special events or special collaborations during evening hours or on the weekends. So just watching to see what might work best for you, and when might be a particularly fun time to go into that shop and have an experience, plus get your shopping done on your list.
All right. Anything else the folks need to know as long as we're having a conversation?
I would just say embrace winter, and that's with the right clothes, you can still make it out and about. And we're excited to see people for the parade. That's a lot of fun. So hope to see folks there. Just dress for the weather.
All right, Jessica, we appreciate you taking some time telling us about everything going on in the Decorah area this weekend. Thanks for the time, as always. And since this will be our last conversation before then, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to everyone and you too. Thank you.
Jessica Rilling from the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. Coming up this Saturday, the Minnesota State Veterans Cemeteries throughout the state are hosting an honor wreath ceremony, and the Preston Cemetery will be a part of that. And with us from the Minnesota State Veterans Cemetery in Preston is Rob Gross. And Rob, tell us about this ceremony. I know it's held on an annual basis. What does it all entail?
I appreciate the opportunity, as always, to talk to you. Yeah, so this is the National Honor Wreath Ceremony Day that happens across the entire nation. This year, happening a Saturday earlier than it has the last few. It had typically been the third Saturday, but they moved it up to the second Saturday again this year, and it's because of the way the calendar falls. Second Saturday moved too close to Christmas, and wanted to make sure that people could participate without having travel concerns in that. But it's a great opportunity to families to gather across the nation and at locations like ours at the State Veterans Cemetery in Preston to pay honor and recognize their family members that are no longer with them right now. And the opportunity is to place a wreath at their loved one's final resting place and say their name to remember them through the holiday season. You know, they say that people have a potential of dying twice. The first time when they take their last breath, and the second time when their name is never spoken again and they're forgotten. And that's really what we want to avoid, is forgetting people, you know, especially our veterans and their families, with the sacrifices that they made over their lifetime and the calls that they answered. It's a special opportunity for us to remember them in a public ceremony and still allow for families to have these private moments at their final resting place of their loved one. So it's a very special event that we're fortunate to participate in with the community and our partners.
In a day like this, you mentioned there's private moments between the families and their loved one at their burial site, but there's a lot of families here that are dealing with the same pain and agony of missing a person that served our country at this time of year. Do you find that helps out that the families get together, having other people? Does that help out in their grieving process, shall we say?
It definitely does. I mean, it's a common bond that people have, and to your point, for many families, this is the first holiday that they've been without their loved one. So it really does well up a great deal of emotion, you know, of an opportunity for memories. But to me, I think the greatest thing about it, again, considering this common bond that exists at a location of ours, it's an opportunity to share stories with complete strangers, with people that are out here volunteering, or other families that have never met. Their service members more than likely had not ever met. These families have never met. And in some cases, it creates an ongoing bond where now, as we're in our 9th year of doing this at this location, you have families that reunite at this type of event because they know every year grave 124 and 125 are side by side. And if not any other time during the year, on this event, those two families that are complete strangers are joined together by the proximity of their loved one's final resting place. So it is just it's a very unique opportunity to share those stories, to tell some of those favorite Christmas stories, holiday stories, military stories that families have kept and been able to move forward in examples like this. So yeah, it really just is a very unique, special time for everybody.
And I'd have to imagine one of the neat things about an event like this, it's really multi-generational, knowing the fact that there are veterans from long ago buried at your site, and veterans already all the way up until the Gulf War that are buried at your site. It really kind of ties the bond over multiple generations, doesn't it?
It does, and even expands that to multiple branches of service. We have all branches recognized here with burials, with the exception of Space Force right now. So we've had Army burials, Marine, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Merchant Marine burials at this location. And one of the things that we do out here at the beginning of our service is we have family members place an honor and ceremony wreath in recognition of that branch. And what we try to do every year is if we've had a burial from that specific branch, we try to pick someone from that year's branch burial. So we try to pick a family from an Army burial, as an example, that we've had in the last year, and have that family place the Army wreath. A Marine burial from the last year, Coast Guard. Merchant Marine, we only have one Merchant Marine burial out here. Merchant Marine was a branch specifically during a very small window of time around World War II. So that family may be the only family that's ever invited back every year to do Merchant Marine burials, but and some of it more recent burials. We had a burial out here a week ago Friday, and a very emotional time for the family, and it was someone that we had a very close relationship. And in this case, as we're planning on who's going to place a wreath this year, even though it was so close to this interment, it seemed right to offer that family the opportunity to do that. And everyone else then is doing it from an honor standpoint. Everyone else is going out to their loved one's site and able to share that memory or share that honor moving forward. So.
And just looking at some of the materials about this event, discuss the organization Wreaths for the Fallen. From what I understand, they provide all the wreaths for the burial sites at any veteran cemetery in the state. Is that correct?
We actually have two organizations
Okay.
that we work with. So Wreaths for the Fallen is a Minnesota-based nonprofit that was established many years ago when Little Falls was the only state veteran cemetery in Minnesota. So it was near the Camp Ripley area. And that was started there. And as we've opened additional now with Preston, Duluth, and Redwood Falls, they have expanded their coverage to help cover the other three locations as well. That one works then in collaboration with the national organization Wreaths Across America. So Wreaths Across America happens across the entire nation. It's common that they will do fundraising throughout the year. They will work with groups like the Civil Air Patrol and Patriot Guard and some of those larger groups, and have some large corporations that work with them as well. So in the end, we get a perfect hybrid of the two programs. We get Wreaths Across America and Wreaths for the Fallen that end up working hand in hand to cover our entire location. So we're very fortunate in that, because a lot of places across the country, they may not necessarily get full coverage of all of theirs, and people will have to sponsor to ensure that their loved one receives a wreath and is placed. But at our location, we're fortunate. We end up with full coverage of all of the in-ground traditional interments, and then we place large ceremonial wreaths in front of our above-ground columbariums, which is an urn burial for above ground. So we end up with full coverage at our location, and more than enough opportunity for volunteers to ensure that every one of them has one placed for that purpose. So it's kind of unique with Minnesota with that we have that perfect partnership between those two groups.
Give us the specifics of the ceremony itself. When does it begin, and who is all invited?
So the ceremony is on the 14th, which is Saturday. Anybody that wants to sit and watch the Army-Navy game, it'll be done before Army-Navy kickoff, so we're just fine with that. But the program starts at 11 o'clock. It is a very brief program. As I consider it, the program is a speed bump to get to what we really want to do out here, and that is to go out and honor those veterans and their families that are laid to rest out there. So at 11 o'clock, brief program. After the program is done, a quick briefing on procedure and how we actually place the wreaths. As typical with the military, there is a methodology to this, and basically a protocol that we encourage families to follow when they go out there and place the wreath. So we'll brief the families at that point. We release the families first, so anybody that has family members can go to their respective loved one site and place. And then a few minutes later, any volunteers that are still here that do not have immediate family but are here to support the mission are released to complete that. Last year, we ended up placing about 900 wreaths in about 9 minutes. So it's a pretty effective method of distribution. And that's a testament to the number of volunteers that we have show up as well from the tri-state area. It definitely makes our mission run much smoother and ensures that no one is forgotten during this season. We encourage people to start arriving around the 10:30, 10:45 window. We will have some cookies there this year that people can snack on while they're talking with families and waiting. We've got some wreath cookies that a local company or a local business is putting together for us. So there'll be plenty of iced sugar cookies that look like wreaths at our event this year for families. And at a few minutes before, we'll give an announcement that the program is going to start at 11 o'clock. And at 11 o'clock on the dot, like the military, we'll start the mission.
Any stories from over the years that have resonated with you over time?
There's actually quite a few of them. A lot of them are relationship based, that we really strive to be more than numbers, to be more than just a location that is filling a quota or doing what we're supposed to. So we really strive to establish relationships with the families and those that are visiting. But there's a lot of those where we get to hear stories of service, hear stories that they share with their loved ones about Christmas when they were in the military. There was one last year where a story was shared about a young soldier in Vietnam that on Christmas Eve, someone pulled out a harmonica, played Silent Night, and everything was quiet during that moment on both ends of the battle. And someone came out last year, went to that veteran's grave site where that story had originally come from, and ended up playing Silent Night for that family in honor of that story that had been shared so many years before. So there's those type of things that happen at this location. There's emotional connections that have, as we mentioned, many of these families, this is the first holiday that they've been out without their loved one. It's a lot of firsts this year. And as anybody that has dealt with loss, doesn't matter when it is, those firsts throughout the year are always difficult, whether it be the first Thanksgiving that we just went through without family, or a first birthday or a first holiday. They're really tough times. So I think the fact that we can be part of this support structure that exists out there, to know that we're caring for their loved ones, that we're not forgetting them, that we're remembering this time of year, and we're giving them the opportunity to share those stories. Those are always special. And quite honestly, many of those are private conversations that we have with those families that we will carry with us, that, help us complete that mission and maybe reassure us that what we're doing has very substantial meaning to these families. It just, I think it edifies the approach that we take to it, and really further concretes our mission and our understanding that we are fulfilling that mission to our families.
Anything we're missing, Rob? Anything else you want to pass on to the public, as long as you got the forum this morning?
I always tell people, plan for whatever weather Mother Nature is going to throw at us. We have had sunny days where we could go out in shorts and t-shirts. We've had days where it was raining and you needed a parka and an umbrella. We have had sub-zero polar vortexes with heavy wind, and where the program was very, very short because my tongue was freezing and I couldn't talk after a few minutes. And we've had mild winters, so just tell people, watch the radar, pay attention to what's happening. I think there's a chance that we're going to have a dusting of snow this weekend. Dress appropriately. We do not provide any beverages up here, hot beverages or anything like that, so if people want to bring up hot coffee and hot cocoa and stuff, plan appropriately. Everybody's got a name your brand cup that they can put their drink in with a lid that will keep it warm for several hours. So bring that along. But otherwise, anyone is welcome from the tri-state area, whether you have a family member here or not. If you have never participated, we encourage people to come up the hill, be part of this program. We have many people that showed up at one 7 years ago, and they have been back for every service we've had since, other than the little blip of our COVID year. And it's an annual thing. We're fortunate. We have many people from, down in the Decorah, Winnebago County area that have made this an annual pilgrimage and come up in a group and support the mission. So we're more than happy to have anybody visit, and more than happy to have anybody join us and participate in this. Everyone is welcome, and everyone is encouraged to continue this tradition moving forward. I mean, the hope is that this becomes part of a seasonal tradition, just like going through the lights down at Pulpit Rock area in Decorah. It becomes a traditional thing that families look forward to. They gather to. They put away the shopping. They put away the mentality of the day. They turn off the TV and the devices for a while, and they show up here, enjoy the quiet, the peace, the eagles flying overhead, maybe a few deer walking through after ceremony, and they just really have a moment to remember and honor those that paid the sacrifice or that were part of ensuring the freedoms that we still have today.
All right, Rob, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to tell us about the ceremony coming up this Saturday. Most importantly, we appreciate what you do for the families of those who have served our country to make sure we can live the lives we can today. And Merry Christmas to you and yours.
I appreciate it. And as always, thank you for helping us spread the word. It's greatly appreciated on our end. And we will continue this mission as long as we are so allowed. So.
All right. Rob Gross from the Minnesota State Veteran Cemetery, the Honor Wreath ceremony taking place in Preston this Saturday morning beginning at 11 a.m. One of the great things about the holiday season is the music and the entertainment it provides and the joy music provides this time of year. And an annual yearly tradition will come your way again this weekend as the Decorah Chorale hosts its 24th annual Home for Christmas concert. And with us to talk about the concert, Jason Rausch and Chami DeLong with the Decorah Chorale. And Jason, we'll start with you. How many years has this concert been going?
Well, this is our 24th annual, and we've been supporting local charities through this concert for all 24 of those. I believe John Bay was the conductor when this was started back in 2001, and we continue to this day. This is I think my 10th time doing this concert.
Well, time flies when you're having fun, I'd imagine. Chami,
Yeah.
how long have you been involved with the Decorah Chorale?
I joined the year that Jason took over as the artistic director. So,
Oh, and it's been
Yeah.
an enjoyable thing since that time, obviously. And Jason, how big of I'll ask both of you this question. I'll start with you, Jason. How big of a joy does it bring you to take something that you're passionate about in music and performance and use that to help out people this time of year? How big of a joy does that bring you?
Well, I think it brings us lots of joy. It really deepens the community in community choir that we are. We love to make music together, but doing something fun together and that we're passionate about, but also helping affect positive change and opportunities for other people is really important and really a great part of our mission with the Decorah Chorale.
And Chami, I'll ask the same question to you.
Yeah, I would say Jason always puts together kind of a theme for the concerts, and I would say there's always a positive message that's embedded in that. And I think that's very powerful for the group as performers, as singers, as well as for the community. We get so much positive feedback after the events. I think it really is an uplifting experience. I get chills thinking about it and talking about it sometimes. It's just super fun.
And Jason, give us the specifics of the concert coming up this weekend, Jason. The who, what, where, when, and why.
Yeah, it's this coming Saturday, December 14th at 7 p.m. at Decorah Lutheran Church. That's the church that's right near Decorah Middle School. And it'll be about a 1 hour concert. We'll feature lots of festive holiday music that people come to expect. It came upon the Midnight Clear, Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella, our Home for Christmas piece that we do every single year, but it will also include some other traditional Christmas music that may be less familiar to folks, but with messages that tie into our themes of hope, of light, and of praise during this holiday season.
And Chami, how much time do members of the chorale put into making this final presentation coming up a reality this weekend?
It's kind of a cumulative effort. We have weekly rehearsals for 2 hours on Sunday evening, 6 to 8 p.m. And then as we do some like performances throughout the community throughout the fall. So we have extra opportunities to practice. So there are some very encouraged but optional opportunities to sing, such as we caroled at the Holiday Lights. We performed at a couple long-term care facilities this fall, as well as a church service. So we're always looking for opportunities for that community outreach. And then we culminate the semester with a 3-hour dress rehearsal where we really run through all the specifics and incorporate those details. So I would say there are probably quite a number of us in the chorale that also rehearse on our own or practice on our own. There's lots of support from Jason, and he sends links to audio recordings and his notes on the music so that we can put in the time that we feel we might need beyond the large group practices. So,
and as most people know, Jason also the vocal music instructor at Decorah High School, and the high school students kind of get the show underway prior to the concert from what I understand. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. The Decorah High School Madrigal Singers, a group of 20 sophomores through seniors, have a whole repertoire of Christmas carols that they prepared over 4 rehearsals, I guess. This past weekend, we were at Vesterheim singing in the ship room, and they're going to be caroling for the Decorah Bank on Friday afternoon, if people want to stop in for the Decorah Bank festivities. And then Saturday night, before the Decorah Chorale concert, if you want to come and get your seat early, your favorite seat where you can see all the people you want to see well and hear well, come early, about 6:40. These high school singers will get you in the festive spirit as a little warm-up to the Decorah Chorale concert.
And at Decorah Lutheran Church, there's really not a bad seat in that place. And Chami, let's remind folks the specific charities that will be helped out by this Home for Christmas concert.
Absolutely. So this year, the recipients will be the Habitat for Humanity, our local chapter, Winneshiek County, and the food shelf, the food pantry. And I know no, it's not the Greater Area Pantry. I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's
community
initials. Thank you. But yeah, and we will have representatives from each of those nonprofits there at the concert to give a little overview of the work that they do, so that people who decide to participate in the free will offering have an idea of how those funds will be used. So
anything
we're missing?
Oh, I was gonna say, just one other thing I want to add in. We were the very grateful recipients of a Depot grant this year again. We've gotten that a couple years before. So that does allow us to fund the purchase of new music for the semester. So very, very grateful to that wonderful organization that kind of helps us keep doing what we do.
All right, Jason, anything we're missing? Anything else we need to add on as long as you got the forum here?
Yeah, you'll hear some exciting and talented instrumentalists joining us for the concert. We have Eric Sessions joining us as on violin, on fiddle, and Ezra Vorvik. Dustin Bliven, my colleague here at Decorah High School, the band director, he'll be playing soprano sax on our final piece. Chris Hadley, my colleague at Decorah Middle School, band teacher, will be joining us on some drums. So we have lots of great instrumentalists joining us to put this music on for our community.
And adding on to the community theme, Chami, I'll let you give one final commercial and invitation for folks to be entertained by the Decorah Chorale and help out a great cause this weekend.
Okay, we are following on the heels of the Christmas at Luther weekend this past weekend, and I encourage everyone to join us Saturday night at Decorah Lutheran Church at 7 p.m. To continue to build their passion and their feelings for the Christmas holiday and the upcoming holiday season. So don't miss out on this great opportunity. As Jason said, try to get there early. We often have a packed house, so arrive by 6:40. You'll be entertained by the talented magical singers from the Decorah High School, and then that will follow with our program. Hope to see lots of people there.
All right, Jason Rausch and Chami DeLong from the Decorah Chorale, the Home for Christmas concert taking place Saturday night at Decorah Lutheran Church. Thanks for the time, and Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Darren, you too.
Decorah Chorale, Home for Christmas concert Saturday night, 7 o'clock at Decorah Lutheran Church. The deadline is fast approaching. Sunday is the last day to sign up on the health insurance exchange for 2025. And when we talk health insurance, we talk to our friend Brian Huinker with Group Benefit Partners in Decorah. And Brian, we mentioned that Sunday is the deadline. After Sunday, if you don't sign up by then, what are your options?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gray area. There's been some extensions in the past or extensions to make plan changes, but generally speaking, when you miss the deadlines, you can't sign up without a life-changing or a qualifying event. So your options are very limited. There's some cost share plans, some other options maybe in the short-term market, but uh, it can be tough sledding. So we encourage people to get signed up while it's still while there's still time.
What would those life-changing events be?
Marriage, divorce, birth of a child. Big one is loss of coverage through a job. So maybe you quit to start a small business. Maybe you got fired. Maybe you retired early. Release from jail. So we've had a handful of those through the years. Dan Marks is very accommodating. Like you don't have to do anything really bad to get thrown in. Just bad enough. It's somewhat peaceful, but when you get out, no, I'm kidding on that. But that is a qualifying event. Moving. So if you moved to a different state or a different county where there's different plans, so there's a whole host.
And of course, this year we have a political change with the presidency. You have a party that is going to be in control of both the House and the Senate, as well as the White House this year, and that could cause some concerns, maybe some nervousness among people in what the law will be related to health insurance. What do you say to those folks?
Yeah, good question, Darren. Round one of the Trump administration, he really campaigned on repeal and replacing Obamacare, and they had all three branches. And when they got in, they really didn't do anything in terms of changes to health insurance. This year, they're talking some about it. There certainly are some tweaks. We're hearing some good things, in my opinion, in regards to maybe revamping Medicaid, different things like that. The stat that I point to is that they're projecting that 63% of the membership on the marketplace is going to be from red states. So, politically, I don't think there's going to be a ton of ambition to just throw the thing out without having a quality plan to replace it. So I would tell people not to lose sleep over this. Anytime there has been a change historically, there's been quite a long runway. So we'll be there to figure that out, and don't sweat it for the time being.
What are folks figuring out related to cost of plans for next year for folks in our area?
Yeah, it's been an interesting fall. We're, for the most part, in Winneshiek and Al-McKee County, there's been no changes. Prices actually went down because the tax credit and subsidy went up. In Chickasaw County, we're seeing the biggest negative impact with which is kind of counter to what you would think common sense wise, but two new companies entered their market, and both of them have very narrow networks with just the Mercy health system. And so their premium costs were lower, which in turn affected the subsidy amount from the government because they're giving you money to help pay for the second cheapest silver plan in your market. And for the most part, a lot of our people in those counties don't necessarily want that narrow network, so they're having to pay more for the Wellmark plan that they had in 2024. Little impact in Howard County as well.
And that's the thing I think that gets a lot of people confused. Why are things so different for a person in Decorah as compared to a person in Lawler or New Hampton?
Yeah, it is all based on that second lowest cost silver plan in your market. Um, and different companies enter different markets. I believe there's a rule from the state or the feds that you can't, and this is a good rule, like you can't offer a plan in your county if you don't have providers. So that's kind of common sense. So in some of our counties, like Fayette has some Mercy ties in Owine, um, same with Chickasaw County. So there's some differences there, and it really is how many companies enter the market and what their costs are.
And for people that haven't done the work to sign up and to make sure you're covered for 2025 as of this time, what do you need to remind them of? What do they need to do by Sunday?
Yeah, time is running out. You know, this is scary, like we talk about every year, Darren. Like you're sitting in one of those counties and maybe you pick one of the plans that has the Mercy only and you didn't intend to. You doctor somewhere else. So we would encourage you to call a local agent. 382-2981 is our number. We're kind of stuffed to the gills at this point, but we'll certainly try to help when we can. We'll be doing, phone appointments down the stretch, just almost just to try to get people through, get them signed up if they're in a tough spot, or ultimately after the deadline, I envision us probably switching some people's plans because they signed up for something they didn't really understand.
So if you sign up by the deadline, can you alter the plan after Sunday?
You can. I believe it's until January 15th.
Okay.
Is the change rate because the marketplace has figured that out. You roll over automatically, but some years the plan that you were on doesn't exist anymore. Sometimes the company pulls out. So what do you roll to? So they have given a little grace period, but it is important for people to pay attention. This can be a really big deal. And I know if you're like most people, you hate insurance, you want to bury your head, but this could have thousands and thousands of dollars of repercussions if you don't pay attention.
Anything else we didn't cover? Anything else on your Microsoft Word document on your computer right now?
No, we are all good, brother.
All right, Brian, he's one of the top 10 busiest men in our area right now with the deadline coming up on Sunday. He might be the third or fourth busiest person in his office, but he's top 10 busiest people.
That's more than fair. Say sorry for those dings. Those are like 7 emails that came through in our 4 minutes, but we'll get to everybody, and that's what we do this time of year.
All right, Brian, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to update us on what's going on related to health insurance. And as long as we got you on the horn, Merry Christmas to you, Amanda, and the kids.
Hey, thank you, Darren. You as well.
All right, Brian Huinker, Group Benefit Partners in Decorah. Health Insurance Exchange deadline this coming Sunday. Hey, thank you for our guest on the program this morning, Dave Lawstuen from the Iowa Dairy Center. Santa on the Farm coming up tomorrow night. The Decorah Lighted Holiday Christmas Parade tomorrow night. Other events going on this weekend. We thank Jessica Rilling from the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce for joining us then. Rob Gross from the Minnesota State Veterans Cemetery, the wreath laying ceremony at the Veterans Cemetery in Preston this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Decorah Chorale Home for Christmas concert at Decorah Lutheran Church. We thank Jason Rausch and Chami DeLong for joining us there. And want to thank Brian Huinker, as always, with Group Benefit Partners in Decorah. The health insurance exchange deadline coming up on Sunday. So get all that information in for to make sure you're covered from a health insurance perspective in 2025. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube each and every week. Hustle and bustle of the holiday season, a lot of things going on. You can't always be near a radio or a smart speaker or streaming device at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we got to talk to, let's see, 6 interesting people and 5 interesting interviews this morning, and we want to bring those conversations to you on your schedule. Just go to 1212 Our Town program if you're out gallivanting on YouTube, or you can check out all of our Facebook pages, 94.9 and 99.1 The River, Bluff Country 103.5 KNEI, 104.7 KVIK, and don't forget Hawk Rock 100.5. We put these links up on all of those Facebook pages. It's the best way, one of the best ways we keep in touch with our communities, because that's what we're all about here at LA Communications. Thank you to our guests. Among a tuck to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust, and we thank you. That's right, you, for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.